Alright? You need to know when you get a C. Carolyn told me down there's a lot of people not talking about their air lines and their electrical lines. If you get a C, you start right here at the back of this cab and you tell them, this is my electrical line right here. I'd pull it out, I'd check, make sure there's no debris and the pins are fine and put it back in. I'd check right here at the back right here. And while I'm checking this, is make sure that the air, one's an emergency and one's a service. I'd make sure there's no audible leaks and everything is secure. What I'm also checking is the spring on my slide bar so that I make sure that my airlines and my electrical line stays up off of my catwalk right here. What I would do is I would come and I would check on myself. I would check right here. I would take the glad hand off and I would look at the rubbers to make sure both of them is good. Some of these ladies say you got to, some don't. Take your choice. Take it off, you look, put it back, you do both of them. Pull this one out, and you notice how I grab it, pull it this way, you pull it this way. Do not pull it from down here, because these wires can get loose. Look inside for debris, make sure there's none, and then you look up here in the point right here to make sure all the pins are in good shape. Make sure it's there. And when you come back, what you're doing is you're looking at the front of the trailer. You're looking for any intrusions, any illegal welding, any holes that should not be there. What you're doing is also making sure that the trailer is sitting on the apron right here, that it's properly secured right here with the bolt. And what we're going to do is come around. What we're looking on these are called splash guards. These splash guards are properly, the braces are properly welded right here, and as you can see, the back one is right here. You can see them properly welded. So what I'm looking for is on each one of these bolts that go across here. You can see up underneath here, I'm looking for to make sure the bolts are solid, they're not missing, and they're not damaged. I check on all of them like this. What I also look at is I look at my reflectors right here and my clearance lamps. I make sure they're the proper color of amber. And then what I look to make sure there's no cracks or damages, and I make sure that they work. I also look right here, this is my DOT tape, all the way down my trailer. And I look at it as I walk down. I just don't look at that, I look all the way down. When I come back here, when I get back here to the park, this right here is just a turn signal and a hazard light. That's all it is. It does not even come on when you turn the lights on. That's all it's for. When I look right here, I look to make sure on my flash guard, I look at my U-bolt holding this bracket on right here. I make sure all the nuts are in good spots, and I look at the mud flat to make sure it's in the proper distance, 8 inches off the ground. What I look right here, this is where my landing gear is at. My landing gear, what I am looking for is I'm looking for each bolt right here. As you can see, off this proper welded brace, I'm looking to make sure all these bolts are in the proper shape. I look there, and I look up underneath here to make sure all the bolts up in here are proper, they're not missing and they're not damaged. This here is my handle that lets the dollies go up and down. I'm also looking right here on my landing gears here and on the braces, the lateral braces on both sides. I'm looking to make sure that there's no cracks, there's no illegal welds, they're not bent, and all the bolts are in proper shape and they're not missing to make this a safe operating vehicle. I also look right here at the feet on my landing gear. I make sure they're there and they properly work. That's what I'm looking for there. As I come out and I come down, like I say, I look at my DOT tape. Here's another clearance lamp. This lamp here also works when the lights are on. It's an emergency flasher and it's a turn signal as I come down. I work my way back looking at my DOT tape all the way. This light right here is my ABS light, and what this ABS light for is when I'm driving right here, I can look in my mirror, and if this light comes on, it tells me my ABS system, there's a problem with it, that there's something wrong. It does not mean that I do not have brakes, it just means my anti-lock brake system is not working. I check the wires right here on it to make sure that they're all working and it's proper. I check these splash guards back here. You can see the U-bolts on this one. I check underneath to make sure the bolts are good, and I check to make sure they're. As you can see, they're properly welded right here on the frame, front, middle, and back. What I do when I come underneath here, this here is a, pause a second.
Shoot, I don't know how to pause.
Okay, what did we say this was? This is a, what was this arm? I forgot, I went blank on it. I just went totally blank. What is this? What did we, this
you said torsion, a bar or something.
torsion arm.
Torsion arm? Okay.
Yeah. Okay, this is a torsion arm. This is just a control arm to keep the distance in between this torsion arm right here, and there's one at the back there on the other one. What it does is it keeps it to where you can line your trailer up. What I'm going to look at right here, this is my front tandem. And what I'm looking under in my front tandem, these are my air brake chambers. There are dual lines to them, as you can see. You can see right here, there's also an anti-lock brake system wire right here. This tells me when my anti-lock brake system is working. What I'm looking here is on this is I'm looking on my mounts right here. This is my front mount. As you can see, the eye bolts in here, they're properly sealed, they're properly bolted, there's none missing or cracked. But what I'm looking on my front tandem is I'm looking for cracks, I'm looking for oil to be leaking out. While I'm sitting here also, this is a leaf spring trailer system. These leaf springs are right here on the front. As you can see right here, they're right here. They can have no breaks, no cracks, and no damages. I also look at the U-bolts right here to make sure the nuts are all in proper shape, and they're holding right here on the front tandem. As you can hold the springs right here, it holds them into place in the proper working order to make it safe. I look on both sides, and when I look here, when I'm looking for, one is a service and one is an emergency line. I'm making sure they're there. These have slack adjusters and push rods, and I'll explain better at the back because I can see them back there better. But what I'm sitting here looking for, I'm looking at my brake drum right here. I'm also looking at my brake pads, top and bottom. I'm looking at my rims on the inside here, and on the inside here, I look for my brake drum right here, and my brake pads. I make sure there's no less than 1/4 inch. If there's less than 1/4 inch, that means that we need to have the brakes checked. Now we're going to walk back here. We will come back up here to finish the tire in just a minute. But what I look on the splash guard back here, I check this out to make sure. When I get back here, what I look for here is, number one, I make sure that the mud flaps are in good shape and at the proper distance. What I look for back here on the back is, you can see the red. It's red clearance lamps and red reflectors. I come around to the back, and what I'm looking for, also check my license plate light right here. You can see the red right here is what they need to be on the back. They're all red. Up here on my clearance, these are my clearance lamps up here. That will come on when I turn my light switch on. This here is just a brake light. All this light does is when you step on your brake, this light comes on. So what I'm checking back here is, you can see the red on both sides. I'm making sure that all the lights are not cracked, damaged, they're all there, they're working. Also look for my DOT tape on my DOT bumper on the back. When I get down here, here's what I was going to tell you I was going to look at a lot better. When I come down here, this is a dual air brake system. As you can see, the dual air lines. One's emergency and one's the service. But as you can see right here, my air tank's right up here. My air brake chamber's right here. This here is a push rod. This push rod, when I step on my service brake, what happens? The push rod comes out, moves this slack adjuster right here, which moves the arm inside this container right here that makes my S-cam brakes work, which right now they're in lock position, as you can see. And I'm looking to make sure they're proper, but they're locked. But when they're released, these brake pads are up. So what I'm doing is, right now I'm checking my brake pads. I'm looking to make sure there's more than 1/4 inch. And I'm also looking at my brake drum, that there's no cracks, damages, and that it's a proper working order. But I do it on both sides. I can see both sides from here. Now this is my rear tandem. And what I'm looking for back here is also on my springs to make sure there's none crack, damage, or missing. I'm looking at all my U-bolts on all of them right here. What I'm checking on these is to make sure they're in the proper working order. Now, these air brakes are set, these brakes are set right now. To test this slack adjuster to make sure that it's right, I would have to release my brake. I'd take my hand, grab a hold of it, and I'd pull it. If it moved more than 1 inch, then I knew that I'd have to have my brakes checked. But right now they're set, so I can't do that. But what I'm looking for on my brake pads, like I said, 1/4 inch or better. The brake drum, I'm looking at it to make sure it's not cracked.